يا من هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العلي الكبير الحفيظ المقيم الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Dearest beloved divine friends, family, brothers and sisters, in the electric mosques, presentation of the teachings of Islam, striving to bring Islam into your home, into your hearts, into your minds, into the corners of Allah's earth, through the medium of electricity, started over 30 years ago, now on YouTube, around the world, Facebook, around the world, on television, all over Guyana. Friends and families, the Electric Mosque presentation, Teachings of Islam, is pleased to present to you this special program today. I had an inspiration to do in our simple English language the Surah Al-Mulk, or the Dominion. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi nahmadahu wa nasta'inahu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi min sharuri anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa ala alayhi wa salam abad. Brothers and sisters, I do not want to waste time to give you the translation because this is an important topic. And now we will go to a recital of Surah Al-Mulk.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير. وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Blessed is he in whose hands is the dominion, and he is able to do all things. Who has created death and life, that he may test you which of you is best indeed. And He is the Almighty, the oft forgiving, who has created the seven heavens one above the other. You can see no fault in the creations of the most beneficent. Then look again. Can you see any rifts? Then look again, and yet again. Your sight will return to you in a state of humiliation and worn out, even confused. Indeed, we have adorned the nearest heaven with lamps. And we have made such lamps as missiles to drive away the shaitain, the devils, and have prepared for them the torment of the blazing fire. And for those who disbelieve in their Lord, Allah is the torment of hell. And worst indeed is that destination. When they are cast therein, they will hear the terrible drawing of its breath as it blazes forth. It almost bursts up with fury every time a group is cast therein. Its keeper will ask, did no warner come to you? Repetition for emphasis, it almost bursts up with fury every time a group is cast therein. Its keeper, the keeper of hell, will ask, did no warner come to you? They will say, yes, indeed, a warner did come to us, but we belied him. Allah never sent down anything of revelation. You're only in great error, they would say. And they will say, had we listened or used our intelligence, we would not have been among the dwellers of the blazing fire. Then they will confess their sin. So away with the dwellers of the blazing fire. Verily, they will confess their sin. Verily, those who fear their Lord unseen, that is, they do not see him, nor his punishment in the hereafter, theirs will be forgiveness and a great reward, that is paradise. And whether you keep your talk secret or disclose it, verily he is the all-knower of what is in the breasts of men. Should not he who has created know? And he is the most kind and courteous to his servants, all aware of everything. He it is who has made the earth subservient to you, that is easy to walk, to live, and grow on it. So walk in the path, therefore, and eat of his provision, and to him will be the resurrection. Do you feel secure that he who is over the heaven, Allah, will not cause the earth to sink with you? Then behold, it shakes in a ferocious earthquake. Or do you feel secure that he who is over the heaven, Allah, will not send against you a violent whirlwind? Then you shall know how terrible has been my warning. And indeed, those before them belied the messengers of Allah. Then how terrible was my denial. Do they not see the birds above them, spreading out their wings and folding them in? None upholds them except the most beneficent, Allah. Verily, He is the seer of everything. Who is besides the most beneficent that can be an army to you to help you? The disbelievers are in nothing but delusion. A repetition. Who is He besides the most beneficent that can be an army to you to help you? The disbelievers are in nothing but delusion. Who is He that can provide for you if He should withhold His provision? Nay, but they continue to be in pride, and they flee from the earth. Is he who walks without seeing on his face more rightly guided? Or he who sees and walks on a straight way, the path of the Surah Al-Mulk, the Islamic monotheism? Say it is He who has created you and endowed you with hearing, with seeing and hearts. Little thanks do you give? Say it is He who created you from the earth, and to Him shall you be gathered in the hereafter. They say, when will this promise, the day of the resurrection, come to pass, if you are telling the truth? Say, O Muhammad, the knowledge of its exact time is with Allah only, and I am only a plain warner. But when they will see the torment of the day of resurrection approaching, the faces of those who disbelieve will be different, black, sad, and in grief. And it will be said to them, that's the promise which you were calling for. Dearest, beloved, divine friends, family, brothers and sisters, say, see, if Allah was to destroy me and those with me, or if He bestows His mercy on us, yet who can deliver the unbelievers from a grievous penalty? Say, He is Allah most gracious. We have believed in Him, and on Him have we put our trust. So soon will ye know which of us it is that is in manifest error. Say, see, if your stream be some morning lost in the underground earth, who can then supply you with clear flowing water? Verily, Allah is the best of knowers. So, beloved divine friends, brothers and sisters, the aim of this is most an education and not a khutbah. My aim now is to dilate, and I will use the opportunity to read it now in section by section and try to use the intellect that Allah has given into me, my vision and wisdom, to articulate without even looking at another person's or scholar's interpretation or how they analyze this amazing, fantastic Surah Al-Mulk. This chapter has to do with your death, ladies and gentlemen. When we are in the graves, where will we question? It is a time when we will be visited by the Holy Quran and the angels. And this chapter will be used to intercede on our behalf before our Creator. So I want to read it to you, and I ask you to go and do now all the research you can to get a thorough understanding, to get the Yusuf Ali or the Maulana Muhammad Ali translation of the Holy Quran or Marmaduke Pictal, and then study, read the chapter in Arabic if you can, and then in the English, and then the translator's expose explaining to their intelligence what is the meaning. So right now I want to use the rest of this time to read and dilate as I go along. So we know about, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Blessed is he in whose hand is the dominion, and he is able to do all things. Basically, Allah is telling us, blessed is he, Creator Allah, with all of his power, who has his hands on the entire earth and all the universes and everything that floats in the thousands of galaxies or millions of galaxies. Everything is within his handlehold, his grasp, the hands of Allah. And we are told that he can do all things, anything, wherever, whatever. We are asked, who has created death and life? That he may test you, which of you is best indeed. And he is the Almighty, the oft forgiving. So we are even asked by our Creator in this Quran, asking us, who created life and death? And why? So we know Allah created life and death. And why? That we may be tested as to who is the most generous, kindness, not only in worship, but in deed to humanity, the animal kind, to non-Muslims. Because taking care and feeding the non-Muslims, the people who are not your own, is what raises you to glory. That is why we have khairat along with zakah, voluntary charity, so that we can raise to glory. And he, Allah, is Almighty, oft forgiving. And we forget that, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, brothers and sisters, Muslims around the world, that sleeping is dying. Every time we go to bed, we die. It is the brother of death. Death and sleep are brothers. So every time we go to bed, we must reflect and think that we have died. Friends and family, brothers and sisters, and by the mercy of Allah, we arouse consciousness and all. Who has created the seven heavens, one above another? You can see no fault in the creations of the beneficent. Then look again. Can you see any rifts? So, this Quran, this Allah is calling upon our intellect, our wisdom, and it's the only holy scriptures, and I am a respecter, as you know, of all scriptures and of all peoples. Who has created the seven heavens? One above the other. Allah. One, you have seven heavens. You can see no fault in the creations of the most beneficent. Can we find a fault in them? Whatever trouble happens to us is by our own thoughts and our deeds. The earthquake and the hurricane and the floods and the droughts. Man interference with nature. Man thought that is evil, that is not unitedly focused on glory and goodwill and love to generate good. Can you see any rift? I can't. In the circulation of the evaporation system, that the water that comes from the heavens that replenishes the earth and fertilizes our grass and our sand and feeds the microbes, which replenishes our water reservoirs that we drink from, animals and everything grow. And then we get wastewater, and the wastewater and all unnecessary water are absorbed again. Dirty water, wastewater, and taken through the process of evaporation and turns in the ozone layer in the heavens up there into purified natural water all over again. I see, my brothers, my friends, of Islam and the concourse of humanity and the fraternity of religions, I see no rifts in the creation of Allah. Then look again, Quran warns us. And yet again, your sight will return to you in a state of humiliation and fatigue, even confused. So if you look, the grasshopper, the bee that is responsible for the sustenance of life on the earth, the bee, the animal that God Almighty spoke to, and the earth with its pomegranates and its melons and its grapes and its dates, and our mangoes, and our donks locally, and our cashews, and our nuts. So we are challenged to look, and look again, and your sight will return to you in a state of confusion. You'll feel humiliated, worn out at how little petty we are. For we think when we plant the seeds, don't we see seeds fall by the mercy of Allah and produce? Do we see when seeds are planted, they come forth and bear fruit for the animal kind and humankind, and the microscopic animal, the quadrupeds and the bipeds as well? And indeed, we have adorned, Allah is speaking, this nearest heaven with lamps. And we have made such lamps as missiles to drive away the shaitain, and have prepared for them the torment of the blazing fire, the stars. Put in the heavens for astrological purposes, but serves as a lighting for the earth, as a guide, the North Star, by which men can sail and fly. And if all the satellites and these modern day scientific techniques should go asunder and electricity, man can only travel looking at the North Star, a lamp in the universe, up there, planted by our Creator, Lord of the worlds. And also we know that the devil sometimes try to go to the seventh heavens. And when they go up there, we see what we call shooting stars. But we know something that the non-Muslims do not know, that the angels have used those as missiles to pelt away and chase away the devils, the shaitain, the helpers of Satan, who want to go into the heavens to listen to the conversation of Allah. And for those who disbelieve in their Lord is the torment of hell. And worst indeed is that destination. So believing in the Lord is being saved. Disbelieving is torment in hell. And that is the worst we can ever want or think of. We are told also in verse 7, when they are cast therein, that is the unbelievers, the haters, the satanic people, not necessarily unbelievers, but bad Muslims and bad people, they will hear the terrible drawing of its breath as it blazes forth. As a set of people are thrown into hell, we will hear when the hell fire will you in, so to say, when you hear the fire is going to kind of explode with an inner explosion. It almost bursts up with fury. Every time a group is cast therein, its keeper will ask, did no warner come to you? It will burst up with fury as you throw the new flesh in there. It will suck the air as an explosion, like an atomic explosion. And then the keeper is going to ask, the keeper of hell, did nobody who is a warner came to educate you? And the answer will be yes. Indeed, a warner did come to us, but we belied him and said, Allah never sent down anything of revelation. You are only in great error. So the people are going to accept that they did wrong and evil deeds, and that they have to suffer the consequences. They'll accept that, but they are going to suffer. And they will say, verse 10, had we but listened or used our intelligence, we would not have been among the dwellers of the blazing fire. Then they will confess their sins, so away with the dwellers of the blazing fire. They will confess at that time, and still they will go in, because Allah gives us, ladies and gentlemen, the authority to seek forgiveness now. Before we go, don't seek forgiveness when you're finished. But I have another thing to tell you, that Allah is so merciful. Some imams and scholars teach that hell is perpetual. I have learned through my studies and my imams and sheikhs that hell is not permanent. It is made there to purify you, to purify us who did not follow and purify ourselves by the righteous life. Verily those who fear their Lord, that is, they do not see him, nor his punishment in the hereafter, those who had respect, love. The word in Arabic for fear is the same as love in Islam. So those who feared, loved, and cared for their Lord and did the righteous things for humanity, they will be forgiveness and a great reward, paradise. Whether you keep up your talk secret or disclose it, verily, he is Allah, knower of what is in the breasts of men. Should not he who has created know? 14, verse 14. So Allah is asking, Quran is asking, should not he who has created know? The makers of the Ford car, the manual, wouldn't they know the problems with their car? So he who created us, would he know not? And he is the most kind and courteous to his slaves, all aware of everything. And still he's kind. He knows of all they do. That is why he will still only put them in heaven and once they seek the forgiveness. And they will put them in hell. He will put them in hell only for the period to purify their souls, because they did not allow themselves to fast and to give khairat and zakat and be kind to the animal kind, the dumb and those in need. 15. He it is who has made the earth subservient to you, so that we may walk, to live and do agriculture on it, grow food, produce, make money, but pay the zakah. So walk in the path thereof and eat of his provision, and to him will be the resurrection. Whatever he does, however forgiving he is, there is the resurrection, and there is the hell, and there is heaven. Do you feel secure that he who is over the heaven, Allah, will not cause the earth to sink with you? Then behold, it shakes as in an earthquake. So do not think that Allah will not teach us lessons. And we given an example, earthquakes and hurricanes and thunderstorms. Do you feel secure who is over the heaven, that Allah will not send against you a violent whirlwind? Let us say they're putting up in the heaven. Allah knows these things. You see what I'm seeing here is not typically what an average person sees, ladies and gentlemen. Because I believe in science. And they're building these space stations. They're building places now in Mars, or trying to build in Mars, and hoping to build in Mars, in the moon and other planets, where people will live in spacecrafts and spaceships like planet up there or in other planets. What Allah is telling us, so they feel secure that He who is over the heaven, Allah will not send against you a violent whirlwind. A wind can come and wipe you out. If you are even over the heavens as you might think, then you shall know how terrible has been my warning. That's to Allah, saying, then you will know or understand. And let's use the floods that we are having today so we can understand where some houses went all the way underwater. Produce, animals dying. Understand. It might be a message from God to live the righteous life. Stop messing with nature. And indeed, those before them belied the messengers of Allah, and how terrible was my denial punishment. So those who were denying, they will have to face the consequences. Do they not see the birds above them? Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, do they not see the birds above them spreading out their wings and then folding them in? None upholds them except the most beneficent. Verily, He is the seer of everything. So even when the birds, the eagle, when they pull their wings in, they still fly, gliding in air without falling, without even opening the wings. This is the analogy of Allah. He who is He besides the most beneficent that can be an army to you to help you? The disbelievers are in nothing but delusion. So only the beneficent, no army in the world can help you except Allah, because He will decimate the army as He did in Makkah with the birds and the clays. Who is He that can provide for you if He should withhold His provision? Nay, but they continue to be in pride and they flee from the truth. Allah knows. If He decides to take away your provision, the flood is teaching us we are still getting some, but if He decides to flood more or send a drought and take away everything, who can help us but Allah? Let's use it all, ladies and gentlemen, as an example to do better to care of our environment. Is he who walks without seeing on his face more rightly guided, or he who sees and walks on a straight way? Some people have pride. They walk without seeing. Or is he better off who follows the straight way, or the Islamic monotheism? So it is He who created you from the earth, and to Him shall you be gathered. Let us accept. We came from the earth, and to the earth we shall return. They say, when will this promise, the day of resurrection, come to pass? If you're telling the truth. Say, O Muhammad, the knowledge of its exact time is only with Allah, and I'm only a plain warner. Jesus Christ, it is alleged, in the Bible said the same thing. No one knows the time of the day or the day, not even the sun. But when they see it, the torment of the day of resurrection approaching, the faces of those who disbelieve will be different, black, sad, and in grief. And it will be said to them, this is the promise which you were calling for. Say, see, if Allah were to destroy me and those with me, or if He bestows His mercy on us, yet He can deliver the unbelievers from a grievous penalty. Even the disbelievers who don't believe in Islam, I'm not talking about the sinners, the unbelievers who don't believe in Islam, He can even deliver them. Quran, Allah speaks. Say, He is Allah most gracious. We have believed in Him, and on Him have we put our trust. So soon will ye know which of us is that in manifest error. Say ye, if your dream be some morning lost in the underground earth, who can then supply you with clear flowing water? I repeat. Say, see, if your stream be some morning lost in the underground earth, your stream, your waterway, your supply of water. In modern times, it will be your supply of water is gone. Who then can supply you with clear flowing water? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dearest beloved divine friends and family, أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم. I say these words of mine and I ask for forgiveness. I have to end here. Time is upon me. Peace and mercies and blessings of Allah be with one and all. I ask the operator to be kind at the television station. Your friend, your brother, me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, say Assalamu alaikum. May the peace, mercies and blessings of Allah be with one and all.